Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is your T-shirted historian, and it's been another really interesting week in Geek. So, up on Twitter, and I know a lot of drama happens up on Twitter, and I don't really consider this to be drama. It's just an interesting discussion that happened with me and Taylor Lane, who has been a guest on the show, and he's a good guy, and I don't have any beef with him, all right? So nobody infer anything, okay? So me and him, we're copacetic. But we got to talking about the size of hexes in a game. And to his way of thinking, Gygax's hex system of, which a hex is 6 miles in diameter, roughly, is more akin to like 1830s Midwest America as far as how it's set up and what's in it. Whereas, my usual look at what's in a hex is a lot closer to Europe, specifically like England. I mean, in a 6 mile area, a 6 mile hex in England, you're going to find a ton of little villages and hamlets and thorps and a castle, most likely. Especially if there's a castle, there's going to be lots of little settlements and things all around it. And that's generally the way I kind of like to set up my games. And it's probably a little bit different from, the way Gygax envisioned it. And, far be it for me to say that, Gygax was wrong. But, maybe he, wasn't very well traveled, or he didn't have access to like all the Google Maps and stuff that we do now. But just as a tip, if you're running a hex crawl, please remember that, 6 miles is a hell of a long distance when you're talking about people who have to travel by foot or by horse on roads that may or may not be very well maintained, that may be overgrown or may have stuff collapsed on them. Not to mention the prevalence of wilderness and other nasty things that live in it. Magical stuff aside, I mean, people tended to live and build settlements within a day or half a day's walk from one another. And I guess that's just because, humans just needed to spread out and stretch their little feet. And even in America, if you'll look at how far some of the early townships are, like in Massachusetts and Rhode Island and those kind of places, there's a lot of stuff packed into those little areas. So just as a point of reference, look at putting more stuff into a 6 mile hex than what is generally asked for in Dungeons and Dragons. I'm sorry, I'm still having a little bit of issues with a cough. Anyway, shall we get everybody on?
Why, T-shirt, have you considered that maybe perhaps the ways of the Midwest are the best? That maybe we might, in fact, know what we're doing out here?
I think it obviously depends on the area. I feel like, in fantasy medieval Europe, then there's going to be a lot of castles and villages and stuff. If you're in the wet wastes, then it might be 6 miles of nothing and then maybe some ruins.
Yeah, because 6 miles in Texas isn't shit. I mean, you can go for 6 miles and still be on somebody's land. And it's all of it is their land plus more. I mean, like the total acreage of one of the biggest ranches here in Texas is larger than the Duke of Cornwall's entire estates by quite a margin. So,
well, I looked at my town, and there's like these sites where you can like put like a circle on it, like of a specific size. So I did like 6 miles, and with my town at the center, and I was like zoomed out a little, so it wasn't even showing everything, like all the little stuff, but like medium to like big size towns and cities, like I counted like at least 10. And then there's probably like I'm in walking distance of a castle like myself, so there's probably at least like 3 or 4 more in that 6 miles radius. So yeah, like
and see, and that's one of my points of conjecture. It's like, you know, I know everybody's gonna say, but Dungeons and Dragons is not medieval, and I'm like, no, it isn't. But there are a lot of common medieval structures in the D&D world, and that is like castle civilizations. You know, that's your main line of defense. Well, you know, farms, villages, and all these other little structures grow up around castles because you have to maintain the castle. You have to be able to feed them and house the workers and everything else. It's like medieval abbeys, right? You know, whenever these monks had all this money and they wanted to construct an abbey, they called in people to come and work it. Well, they had to have places to put the laborers, and they had to have people come in to feed the laborers. And from there, that's where those towns grew up that the abbeys would also get a percentage of their taxes from. And that's historical fact. Eh, Grim?
Yep.
So, you know.
I was just double checking. So within 6 miles of me, you've got about 25 settlements and 1 castle. To get to 1 feature per 6 miles, you basically have to go to the far north of Scotland and have most of that be mountains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's precedence in D&D for both, because if you look at, say, Keep on the Borderlands, I think the hexes and that are like 1 mile or 2 miles or something last I looked. So, you know, that's like that's like maybe like what, like a 24-mile like hex like altogether or something like that. And you know, that's the castle, that's the Cave of Chaos, there's like, you know, the Cave of the Unknown and stuff. So there's only like a few features, but that's you know, that's also like in the wilderness basically. That's like, you know, the Badlands where you don't really want to go. So
yeah, my thought too is it's you know, if you could have an entire adventure, an entire campaign that never goes beyond 1 hex. If it's a 6 mile area, just kind of depending on what the terrain features and the geography is like. I mean, so
it's entirely setting dependent. I mean, 6 miles in the New Mexico desert. I'm sorry, I've been binging Breaking Bad. We'll get you like nothing. I don't know why I went to New Mexico, but yeah, 6 miles in the desert, you get nothing. Maybe a scorpion, snake.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at I think it was Zero E recently, and or like one of the clones, and it like had like a hex divided in like little squares, and like you basically use those to like see if like there were like settlements and castles and stuff. So like yeah, there's even rules for that, for like populating a single hex with like all this stuff.
Well, we have our guest Cerulean Rex. What, you have any input on this?
He's muted.
Yep, you're muted. Rex, you're muted. You have been this whole time.
Oops. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, I had a camera malfunction, so it cut everything, and I was lucky to get the camera back.
Oh,
I realized the mic was muted. So, yeah, I do have a question around that. Actually, you were having the discussion with. I'm sorry, who was it again?
Taylor Lane.
Taylor Lane. Thank you. I'm familiar with Taylor. And it was around the, you know, what were hexes in that various time. Wasn't the boxed Greyhawk, didn't it have larger, like close to 1/2-inch hexes, and weren't they 12 miles? I was curious.
I thought they were always 6. That's always what I'd heard, but if they were 12, that's even worse.
It is. I mean, that's very large. If you know, if that's a concern. I used to drive about 6 miles to work every day, and I mean, I don't know if you move things backward in time, obviously for D&D to work, there's got to be a lot of open, unsettled space for bad things to thrive in. So, maybe 6 miles of the road or the ground's pretty good. That's about a 3-hour walk. Maybe that's not unreasonable for, village to village. That might be fair. That might be fair. 12 does seem kind of big, given what the discussion, and I might be completely misremembering the Greyhawk. That's the box set one. So now I want to go look again and see what that looks like.
This is, this is why we call it the Week in Geek, because we'll sit there and we'll go down this tangent for hours if you let us.
If you want, I'll go get it and we'll look. We do have time. Actually, I do have a book to ask you about on your shelf. Yes, because I like your intro for your channel. Okay. And by the way, those of y'all out there who are not aware, Cerulean actually started his YouTube channel a few weeks ago, and that's one of the reasons why I have asked him to come here today. Thank you so much.
Let's talk about his channel, talk about his experiences in gaming, and what he's bringing to the table. I've gamed with him before. He's a good guy. And, we see each other on Twitter all the time. And he's cool. And not to mention, he's rubbed shoulders with quite a few luminaries of our hobby. So it's pretty cool.
Thanks. What was the book that you saw? I'm curious.
It's a green book with a dead guy sitting on a throne.
Is that the Shadow Dog, the alternate Shadow Dog edition?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
Oh, whoa.
But it is on your shelf.
Do you mean this?
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the alternate Shadow Dog.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wondered what that was, because who was it? Crossface showed that the other day, and he didn't say what it was. I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that's where I recognized it from, because he got that.
So I saw the other version of this the other day on somebody else's feed, and it was a Grim Reaper looking character, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have that one. Which one is that? And I didn't. She says the most basic one you can get. Oh, okay, it's lovely. But yeah, I had forgotten what level I had backed that at.
Yeah.
It's I gotta say too that Kelsey, Arcane Library, she was most gracious in taking care of everybody who didn't get pristine copies of her work.
Oh, wow. She seems like a real nice person.
Yeah, she's great.
Absolutely. I was, she has seemed that way to me. And then my only interaction with her is, okay, we're going to get you taken care of. I want you to have a perfect copy. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And so she said, keep the originals as a table copy, because the shipper had really kind of mangled the shipment. The box was accordioned.
Oh no!
And she was like, keep those, but I've got another pair coming out to you ASAP. And I was like, oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So
Kelsey is like one of the nicest people I've met in the hobby. I've been talking to her a bit. She reached out to me because some people on her server were like talking crap about like the basic expert and stuff, and she like put a stop to that, and then she personally reached out to me to like apologize and everything. So she's like really nice.
That is really cool. I'm actually glad to find that out about her, because after all the misgivings that we had about her early on, to find out that she's actually really cool is refreshing. And
I personally didn't even have that many misgivings originally. It was like, more power to her. Like, fucking made that bank. I wish I did.
Yeah, a lot of us, that's the big payday we all want.
Yeah.
By the way, I just while you guys were talking, I went and looked at your channel, and I love that opening. By the way, I think it's fantastic.
Isn't it cool?
For your videos.
Thank you.
It reminds me in a way of the old like Tales from the Crypt opening, where like
that's exactly what I had in mind. Good eye. Yep, that's exactly what I had in mind.
You should drop the link.
There's just so many little like bits and pieces in there. Like I'm like looking around, like, ooh, what's that? Like, oh, what's this? I'm like, you got an amazing room there, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a little overstuffed, to be honest with you, because I don't have I've got a part of my house that's not finished yet. That a lot of the stuff that's in here is supposed to be up there, but it's just not. And a lot of it's been in boxes, and it's like, I'll be involved in a Twitter conversation or something. It's like, does this book say that? And I'm like, okay, I'll go get it. And the stuff just ends up here. And so for the intro, I was like, this looks fine. This is perfect. It looks like a wizard's laboratory. So,
holy hell, Victor, are you serious? The Darling map is 30-mile hexes on the Greyhound?
Yeah, I
scale?
googled it. Yep.
Wow.
thank you.
Yeah.
I thought I was actually thinking that I might have been being conservative with 12. I had also thought that it might be 21, which I believe is a league.
Mm-hmm.
But I
That
couldn't
would
remember
make sense.
precisely what it is.
Well, also that continent is supposed to be like 3 times the size of Europe. So,
Is it?
like, yeah, the Greyhawk world is like huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who do you think you are, adventurer? Well, I'm a big deal in my hex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
basically, like you could literally say that.
I've heard of unisex, but I've never read it.
Meh.
Wait till my sub-hex finds out about you.
I like
Yeah, certainly leagues are roughly 20 miles. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we had a mention of Breaking Bad earlier, and as it happens, I found something Breaking Bad earlier this week.
You found blue meth?
No, worse.
Oh.
Yeah. I found the second part of Breaking Bad, but no one is careful.
What?
Brought to us. Yes. This is from another YouTube channel that you guys should check out. But yeah, let's watch this real quick because it's really funny. It's from Alternative Cuts.
Jesus, Wall, you burned the shit out of him. Do you recognize that? Well, that was used to cook meth. Really? Sorry, yeah, just one other thing. Is Gustavo Fring your real name? I was asking. Or was I? Thank you. Good to see you again. Anyway, you
He lulled, then he
any
was
records
serious.
like that go missing lately?
No. I mean, I'm not that I know of.
You don't want people to start wondering about you, right?
Right, so.
Oh.
Badass dad.
Excuse me, hey. We were wondering if you could do us a favor and buy some crystal from us?
You know, what you're asking is illegal.
No, it's not.
Yeah. It is. You're lucky you got a good dad here.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
What, you never tried to push some meth when you were my age?
Oh, that's awesome.
Dad.
Oh no.
Wow.
Skylar's face.
Whatever you thought you knew.
GPS tracker. Stick this on it. Just act normal.
No, not this part. Okay, that was pretty good.
Just make sure it was secure.
Okay, that's pretty
Plus
good.
W. I mean, who you figure that is, huh? Woodrow Wilson? Willy Wonka? William Wyler? Wally West? Wayne Williams? Wendy Wolf? Will Wheaton? Maybe.
Oh no, not Will Wheaton.
No.
Wade Wilson?
Wade Wilson, nice.
Wade Wilson.
William Wallace? Wonder Woman? W.
Who could it be?
You know, I think I would have enjoyed that more if I'd actually seen Breaking Bad.
Yes, yeah, you
Surely you
definitely
would've.
have to see it.
I
Yeah.
like the implication.
Eincast was too busy watching Velocipaster.
Velocipaster.
Well,
We're waiting on
Well, if you-
Velocipaster 2.
yeah, well, if you get a chance, guys, go out there and check out Alternative Cuts. He's got lots of stuff like this on his channel, and he's really funny.
This
Alternative cuts.
It's perfect for me right now. I just finished my rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
I have the ending song in my head still.
Mhm.
Oh no!
Good thing he didn't
I
have
like
anything dirty on his table, right?
Nice. I told you I was having camera malfunctions.
Yeah.
Luckily, you're wearing pants.
Yeah, just tighten the screw.
I know, right? You guys, you really lucked out this time.
Yeah.
Good thing you wore
Yeah,
pants.
we don't need a veggie situation here.
Ooh,
A what situation? I'm sorry.
Reggie.
Like Lamentations of
Reggie.
Influence, this guy.
Yeah, James Reggie.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got
What
nothing.
does he do? No, never mind. I don't want to know.
Oh. Well, speaking of music, I'm definitely going to get copyright claimed for this. So you only get to see it live, and then you don't get to see it anymore because as soon as they hit me with the claim, I'm going to pull it off. So fair warning, if you're watching this on the replay and you totally missed this segment, that's why. But I was so excited about this because anybody who knows me knows I'm a metalhead originally, and one of my favorite games I've got 800 hours on, Dead by Daylight, has announced the Iron Maiden package. And, of course, they had to put Iron Maiden music on it, so that's going to get claimed. So enjoy while you're watching it live.
I will.
Oh, yeah. You an Iron Maiden fan, Cerulean? Oh, yeah.
Hex is high, my favorite.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Grim, you're an Iron Maiden fan, aren't you?
I started with Iron Maiden.
There you go. Put them in the Iron Maiden.
Oh, but yeah.
Via in-game store.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, they look great.
Wouldn't it be
That
funny
takes
if
me
after the
back.
cuts that you have to do, we all come back with all like disheveled and stuff?
Savo, hey, it's good to see you. And you got a partnership with Troll Lord? Dang. I am so happy for you. Savo does these great comics, and she posts them up on Twitter, but yeah, she's got a gig with Troll Lord Games. That's so cool.
Nice.
Congrats.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I'll have to follow her.
Yeah.
I'm not. I might be. I don't know.
Her comics are really funny. They always have this this red-haired elf maiden that she actually posted up stats to from Castles and Crusades. They want a comic a week.
Oh,
do it.
yeah. I saw that yesterday.
You can do it.
Great stuff.
I'm always looking for artists to hit me up as well.
There you go. Oh, and Mercurius to slightly make up for the copyright strike. Hey, thank you. Oh, it's not a strike, I hope. It'll just be a claim. 'Cause if it's a strike, that could take down my channel, but I don't think they could strike me. I think it's just a
Well,
claim.
hopefully they don't black out.
Finally, we've got that T-shirt right where we want him.
I'm not big enough. You didn't ask for a clip, so I'm just going to show off the newest one, which is my favorite.
Welcome.
right. We're having fun this week so far. So Cerulean, you have actually been over to Lake Geneva, and you met like Ernie, haven't you?
I did. I've actually sat down and gamed with Ernie, and that's not, by far I'm not not in a unique class there. Ernie is very gracious about meeting gamers, just the same way that his dad did for years and years and years. Ernie's kept that tradition alive, and he he likes to really meet with people and game with people, and I met 2 or 3 other people who were much like myself, who had reached out to him and had been talking with him for time. Some of them are.
Oh, I've lost you
Oh
again.
no!
Oh no!
Come back.
Uh-oh, we lost audio. Oh, says can't unmute your guest. Their mic isn't connected.
Yeah, it seems like a hardware issue.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
There we are.
That's
There we
good.
go. I don't know what happened, but anyway, Ernie's great.
Yeah.
And a little bit of shilling here for Jim.
Yes.
I'm
Yay!
glad he got over whatever medical issues he was having, at least for now. So
Yeah, his heart was giving him
For
some
the moment. For the moment, he's going to be looking at dealing with those things in perhaps in perpetuity, but he's on the list for transplant, and
Oh, wow.
so he's he's certainly not with he's not beyond it, but he is functional right now. He can get up and he can game, and
That's good.
that is important because that's I think that gives that man will to
That's
live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his passion.
Then his his beautiful
And-
fiance, and they seem very happy, and but yeah, that is his passion. You're exactly right, T-shirted. That's he was sitting there at 13 years old at the table when Dave Arneson was showing Gary Gygax the Blackmore game for the first time. He was playing that day, so it's it runs a long way back for him. So
Oh yeah, I imagine so. And I see you're wearing the T-shirt of one of our other luminaries, Griffith Morgan from
Yes.
Blackmore.
Yes, I am.
Another good guy. He's been on our show.
Yeah, he's great. I'm going to be actually using some rules from this book, The Lost Dungeons of Tonisborg.
Ah, Tonisborg.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be the proto D&D rules that are in here. I'm going to be using those in conjunction with OD&D in the game that I'm running in Lake Geneva next month.
Nice. What's the name of the con?
Well, it's Founders and Legends is the first week, and then the week following is GaryCon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was like, what was it you were looking to run? Could you tell us a little bit about your game?
Sure, I'd be happy to. The best thing I think I could do is probably read you what I put into a video for that.
Is this video up and available yet, or is it pending still?
Is the what available?
Is the video that you've recorded this for?
Oh, it's available.
Oh, we could just play that if you wish, or
why don't you do that? It's about, I want to say it's about 6 minutes, 8 minutes.
Is it up on your site?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me get it.
just don't copy White Strike T-shirt.
Yeah, please don't copy that. That would not be cool.
is this the Wizard King's domain or the Captain of the
Founder's Legend?
Captain of the Toymaker. There you go.
Yeah, Captain of Toymaker. Okay. Let me pull that down. One moment. Kabing. There we go. I love video capture. Okay, here we go.
Traveler, come closer. I have a question for you. Will you preserve the magic of the game? Will you join a quest to safeguard 50 years of cultural legacy? Face the founder's trials? Battle external threats? Whisper in the ears of legends? And ensure the birth of a phenomenon? A magical game that has delighted young and old for half a century. Join an epic adventure honoring the creators of the game and protect the enchantment of tabletop realms. Well, will you? This is the short description of the game event that I will be running in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin in March in celebration of 50 years of D&D. At both Founders and Legends Con and at GaryCon 16. I felt that it needs a longer description, so I have penned one. I'll be doing a reading of that here. Join me for that, won't you?
There's that great studio.
Short version.
I was getting little hints of those like direct to VHS board games.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, made me think of that as well.
Yeah.
Can I just say you have a lovely voice? It's so soothing. Like I could listen. I could listen to that and like fall asleep to it. And I'm not saying it because it's boring. That's not what I mean. You just have a very soothing voice for that. I would love to play in your games one day just because of your voice.
You would not be the first person to say that, and I appreciate it very much.
I believe that.
That's one of my tools that I use for sure. The piece that we were watching, I did go on to give a little bit more exposition. Would you like to hear a little bit more of what I was putting on there? So, citizens of the city of Umberfells have decorated the streets. Stores of libation and hearty kegs laid back in previous years gone by are being broken out of their cellars and tapped. Parties in the homely houses of Umberfells are as like to spill into the streets as not on this upcoming night as the people lift their voices together in song. They sing of the proud traditions of a game created 50 years previous that they all grew up playing. In days that only the aged now remember, the land was plagued by marauding bands of fell creatures, hideous trolls and vile orcs, base goblins and unkindly giants. The common folk were taught to fight in great organized formations against the armies of neighboring states and city-states. In the open field, they did not fare as well against the hit-and-run tactics of the foulness that roamed the lands, these servants of chaos. The game was the training method that taught the people better tactics against these fell marauders. It is the game that prepares them to meet the threats by honing their skirmish tactics, combining sword and sorcery. It is the game that teaches them the interpersonal skills needed for command. It is as much a pastime, however, as it is military training. The people have developed a passion for it, and the stories of their imaginary exploits stand proudly alongside their real actions. This is the people's culture. For those who would defend their homes against the dark forces of chaos lurking at the edges of civilization, to this day, the game is their teacher. Gone now are the days where the unprepared fall victim to the raids in the night. Today, the populace is taught how to respond to the surprise orc raid. Today, bands of adventurers go boldly into ancient ruins in search of the opponents of law, meet them where they dwell, and reclaim treasures stolen in ages past. So now, united in celebration of 50 years of the game that has changed the world, revelers are confronted and rebuked by an evil queen bent on the game's destruction. This queen has been known to be jealous of the will it has given the people to stand together and lead themselves. It has limited her control over the populace. A fateful meeting of creative minds, a meeting famous in the history for giving the game to the people, is threatened to be thwarted by the power of this queen and an evil cult devoted to a religion that has been twisted and mistaught. Their intent? Nothing less than rewriting history to give them ultimate control of the popular conscience of your people. When offered the opportunity, will you step up to stop their twisted plot? Will you do what it takes to save this iconic cornerstone of your people's culture? Well, will you?
I like it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of surprises in it. And, of course, it's unsurprisingly, it's going to relate back to the creation of the thing that captured all of our imaginations at one time or another in our lives that we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow One. No, wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
I think I saw physical pain in Grimm.
It's because he started out with Warhammer.
Yeah.
No, I started out with MERP.
Oh, yeah, MERP.
I played
Middle
Shadow
Earth
Realm
role-playing.
with 5e, so there's that.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I'm 50 as of last year, so I've kind of grown up with the game. But I mean, I haven't actually been playing it for 50 years. I've actually been playing it for about 40. But still,
You're one of those people.
I don't know. Am I?
Yeah, like the whole I've been playing for 40 years, that they used to win every argument on Twitter.
Nah, not really. I mean, I played a lot of other things too. So.
Yeah, that's the people that give Grognards the grumpy name that we all have.
True. Speaking of which, the Grognards video, the short that I put up about Grognards, that actually hit 6K. I was shocked.
Nice.
It's more popular than you, Harmony.
What? Really? Not my ass video.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What? No way.
Yeah. Let me check the analytics as of today. I'll check them right now.
All right.
Let's see. Okay, shorts. Let's see. Yeah, We Can Survive Without D&D, 6,000 views. That blew through the Grognard video, which is 4,000 views.
Oh wow!
But the Older White Men almost hit 6,000, hit 5,963, and the infamous Eat My Ass, 8,900. Wow, it shot up.
I'm more okay. Yep.
Your ass is more popular.
No, not my ass. The ass. No,
Yes.
wait, no, that's mine.
If English works like I think it does. Yep.
Yeah, I had to think about that. I don't
Wow.
think about what I say until after it leaves my mouth sometimes.
Ass is more popular than Nards. Who knew?
Yes. I should have double checked beforehand, but wow, yeah. I guess Eat My Ass is more popular right now. Still, almost to 10,000. That's pretty cool.
Most of you have been playing longer than I've been around. That's not true. I'm older than I look.
Well, don't tell us how old you are. You'll ruin the
mystery.
Her secret is sacrificing players to retain their eternal youth.
True.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, all right. Surly Unicorn's probably been playing longer than I've been alive then. No, I'm 34.
Just because you've been playing longer doesn't mean you've been playing right.
Same.
Yeah. Is there a right way to play? I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Some say
well, we
yes,
know there's certainly a
some say no.
wrong way to play. We know there's certainly a wrong way to play.
Yes,
I think there's a wider way to play than others.
There's definitely a wrong way to play, and that, I would state that if you actually kill your players when their PCs die, then yeah, that's probably the wrong way.
I think the wrong way to play is playing Powered by the Apocalypse at strict 1-to-1 time.
Ooh.
I think there are a lot of tables where the players stick around as a courtesy to the DM, and they're afraid to leave, and they've never played with a group that does know how to play well. I don't know.
That is also true.
Yeah, I think there are lots of wrong ways to play, and I think lots of tables play pretty badly. That's a really unpopular opinion. People don't like that. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
Well, there's
Connor agrees with you.
They hate her because she spoke the truth.
Well, Harmony's talking about self-inflicted wrong ways to play. I mean, we all know that every table is not going to fit us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all sit down at tables that sometimes we are afraid to, if it's not it's not my table. This is clearly not for me, but I can't just quit, right?
Yeah.
Can't leave. Look, there's a lot of people in codependent relationships of all kinds, and that's one type. So yeah, no, that'll never be an unpopular opinion with me, that there are wrong tables for some people, and wrong people for some tables.
What's the longest? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What's the longest that you've stayed around at a table that you were not having fun yet because you were too afraid to leave, or because you had a good relationship with the group? And what's the longest? How long have you done that? And is the answer in years?
It probably could approach it.
Okay.
I mean, I've been involved in games that were associated with the same group of people that I had played with in college when I first got to play in games with lots of people. And prior to that, I just only DM'd. So this was, more than a decade and a half later, almost 20 years. And it's like I sit down with these folks, and substance problems caused DM issues. Yeah. We all we all turned our attention to keeping the mood light and doing other things with each other, right? But as the game went, it was suffering, and that was a pure loyalty thing, right? So there's one, and there's a billion possible reasons. But recently I sat down at another table, and I didn't get past 4 or 5 sessions, and I heard several things that were, strictly speaking, they were codependent, no question. You guys need to play this way because my other person who is at this table is not having a good time. That's not my responsibility. Yeah. Let's set a boundary. I didn't really set a boundary. I just left. And sometimes you got to do that. Yeah. And don't ever feel bad. You're not necessarily saying that their game is bad. You're just saying it's not right for you. And that's okay. That is okay. Has to be. That's my safety tool.
No, you're right.
No, that's
the best safety tool.
You want to play
again, even bad pizza is still pizza, and even cut smack is at least some smack,
My analogy would go with Chinese food, because there is bad Chinese food, but even bad Chinese food is still Chinese food. So.
I disagree. I'm not doing a shot to eat bad Chinese food. I'm sorry. But no, I think that's a good point, because you want to run the type of game that you want to play. So,
Sabo,
go ahead.
I can answer this one. It's like, am I wrong in believing that RPGs recommend one play with friends rather specifically? Seems like a policy that would mitigate 99% of the trouble. Yeah, that mitigates a lot of it. But here's the thing: it's like if you don't try other tables and see other ways that people play, you could miss out on something that's a lot more fun, or at the very least you'll have something that's instructional on how you don't want to play. So
yeah,
agreed.
One of the other problems that can pop up is you find out that people who you might normally be friends with are just a bad fit for you in game.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be another issue that comes to a head.
That actually happened to me recently.
Really?
A friend of mine who died a few weeks ago. We'd gamed together at the same table for a little while before his health got to be too much to where he couldn't attend the gaming table anymore. But out of the game, perfectly sweet guy. I ran errands for him. He was a good dude. I liked him very much outside of the game. Inside of the game, he became an insufferable, tyrannical asshole. And it didn't matter what character he was playing, he always ended up being the same asshole every single game, and we butted heads every fucking game. Non-stop. And it always galled me that we never really could share a game together where we could both enjoy it at the same time. Especially since he was such a cool guy outside of the gaming table.
I've had people like that where all their characters are just like insufferable and you like almost hate them, and you have to like remind yourself it's just a character, they're not really that much of an asshole, but geez, you're being a fucking asshole constantly now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and
the flip side of that is you can make friends by playing with them. You know, you just vibe and you make new friends outside your original friendship circle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my Meat Space group have been going for years now. We all got together because my previous group had some people who ended up playing laser tag with the other group of people and were talking in cyberpunk terms. And they went, "Oh, we play cyberpunk," and they got talking, and then we organized some games. So, you know, you meet people. It's good.
And like, if you're a DM, then I mean, you can definitely learn a lot, even as a player, I guess, from playing with other groups. Like, I've had a bunch of different DMs, and even the ones that I don't think were very good, I've definitely stolen at least something that they did that I liked.
Give me the Jack Nicholson right there. Yes, that's what you do.
I've rarely ever had issues playing with strangers though, because there's a thing called common courtesy and like, you know, just normal social conventions, and that's why I don't like the whole safety tool things, because I've never needed them. So
everyone knows that D&D players and nerds are very good at following social norms. So there's
we're totally normal.
This is no in no way implication of us as a people, and not the fact that like these games have to then implement rules for their tournaments about bathing regularly.
Of course, there's weird, awkward creeps, but you can handle them without resorting to like these draconian, safety tools, and then people telling you if you don't use them, you're some like awful bigot. Like, there's different avenues to handle those sorts of people.
If I think someone hasn't had a shower in more than like 3 days, I'm pulling out the X card. I'm sorry.
The smell card.
Yeah.
Smell card. The S card.
Yeah.
It's just called the Bog of Eternal Stench.
No bird. Just play online,
friends.
Awesome.
I think that is probably one thing that is a little bit different about older gamers and newer gamers. And this is not necessarily to detract from newer gamers, but like Ironcaster's younger. He's probably the youngest person here, and obviously he's not as well watched on a lot of the old 80s cinema as most of us are. I mean, it's like, you know, who here has seen Hawk the Slayer? Oh, you did see that one, Caster. Did you actually?
There's a lot of like the B level movies I've seen, but
because he
watches
watches
the A list movies I haven't seen.
Yeah.
In all truth, though, that's kind of like C+.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
It's great C+.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, you have seen Conan, so that's a bonus. But like, have you seen The Warrior and the Sorceress with David Carradine?
Of course.
Yeah, did you see that one? Okay.
Did we do a stream on that together? I'm thinking of the Sword and the Sorcerer.
Sword and the Sorcerer is awesome.
Yeah,
that was a great movie.
Ironcaster watches awful movies, so he's watched like all those B fantasy movies. You got to ask him if he's watched like a classic like Blade Runner or something. Like that's when you get into the meat of the question.
You haven't seen Blade Runner?
I've seen it.
Okay. You've seen The Thing.
Caster, I just think it's interesting that you know your knowledge of that period is the really the second tier stuff. I think that's cool.
Well, in my opinion, that's where the more interesting stories are, because like, you know, everyone knows like the Terminator and all the bigger like A tier like cinema stuff, the stuff that gets advertised for everyone. But I find there's just so much more interesting stuff in those little lower rung stories where not as many people are checking them out. That's where you find out some of the stories, like where you find out like, yeah, in what was it? In Poltergeist, like they were using actual cadavers.
Yes, they were.
For some of those scenes.
Yep. I had no idea.
Yeah, they were.
In I believe, what was it? Poltergeist 2. There's a scene where where they fall into this should be a dug out swimming pool. And you see all these bodies start popping up out of the ground. You only realize those were actual bodies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were also used in Return of the Living Dead because apparently they were getting them from India. They were actual skeletons.
We're just waiting on like Ganges with a pool skimmer.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and
well, I mean, it's also a series that's famously known as being cursed.
I wonder why. And Savo, don't talk shit about Deathstalker. Come on, you talk shit about the second one because it was pretty trash, but the first one was great, man.
Look,
come on.
We didn't have Lord of the Rings. We didn't have Game of Thrones. We had badly constructed Muppets and oiled men, and we liked them.
Right.
Yeah, we
That's
have
right.
Barbarian Brothers.
Yes. Excalibur. Oh my God.
I'm not going to argue with oiled men.
Excalibur was a
Barbarian
great
Brothers,
movie.
Ironcaster?
What was that?
Have you seen the Barbarian Brothers?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
You should check
I
out.
have.
Oh, I've
Go check it out. It's hilarious.
Yes.
That's C-, but yeah, it's probably worth giving a look.
Yeah.
I saw Cull in the theater, and I was so unhappy with that. Deathstalker 3, yeah, they went downhill really fast after the second one.
I'd still rather watch it than some of the modern fantasy offerings.
Yeah, that's sadly true, especially these days. I mean, I've said it more than once on stream. It's like I've bought more old movies than newer ones lately. I mean, point of fact, I literally got this yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Burt Lancaster, Lee Marvin. I mean, come on, Jack Palance. Shit, man, this is like a who's who of like who was awesome back then.
Cerulean.
I mean,
I'm disappointed it's not a copy of the Dungeon Master.
I have that. I've got it on my shelf. You want to see it, Ironcaster? I loved all those old Charles Band movies. They were trash. I saw Dungeon Master in the theater when I was a kid.
And sadly, that's one of those things. Like I'm never gonna get that lucky to see. Like I can go find Batman '89 in theaters, no problem. But I can't go catch like the B grade stuff.
Nope.
Like I want to go see like those like you know, straight to matinee movies that were lucky to get a theatrical release at all before the days of the straight to VHS.
They were glorious.
And there are really good, bad TV shows that are back there in time as well.
The Archer.
Yeah, I was going to say Fugitive from the Overlord.
And Wizards and Warriors.
Yeah,
I've got the whole series of that.
Is that the one?
That's the one with the two guys. One of them's like overweight, and the other one's blonde. And they have the bad guy is actually the big feature of the show because like he just overacted. He chewed up the scenery and everything he was in.
Is this the one that's got the wizard named Vector in it?
That's the one.
Yeah. I named a wizard Vector just because of that show. It's such a cool name for a wizard.
My DM had a thing called Vector in his game that sucked.
I'm gonna have to dip, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, we're out of
of
time.
No.
But we will see you Tuesday.
Bye. Sorry, guys. Go on. Okay.
Bye, HG.
Bye, Harmony.
Bye.
Later.
Duncan Reghar. Yeah, that was him. Yeah, great actor. Great actor. He's fun. He also played Dracula in the Monster Squad.
Oh.
Yeah. That's where we found out Wolfman had nards.
Yes, Wolfman has nards. That's a good movie. You know, I keep saying it, man. It's, Hollywood needs to get back on the cocaine because that's when all the best movies were made. Movie about a bunch of kids fighting monsters from the fucking Universal movies. Yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Yeah, how much you want to put on it? Yeah.
Hollywood
I don't
needs
get
to
it,
go back to like low and mid tier.
Okay,
like
so get
budget
this.
movies.
Like,
So
I don't
he's
get
right
it,
about
but
what
here's a
they've
bunch of
shown
money,
with.
make it work.
That's the producer and the funding that I like. I
There you
don't
go.
care what it is. You do the art stuff. Here's the money. Just bring me back more. Okay.
Yep.
That we can do.
I kind of wish we
People
had.
knew what people wanted to see back then.
Yep. I kind of wish we had more producers these days who are more like, who's the key grip? I want you to punch that director in the face really fucking hard.
Make a phone call.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's part of the problem, though, is that Hollywood's gotten so full of themselves that doing it for the sake of the art is all the reason they need.
Ooh.
I feel like I said the magic word.
Yeah.
Right? You did. And
The witching
all
hour.
of that means is you're telling the truth.
So,
I mean, it is actually the
the idea
witching
that-
hour. It's midnight. Oh, yeah.
so just this idea that, hey, making the movie for the sake of making the art is all that needs to be happen with from a group of people who have no access to the money, who just don't even see like anything beyond that. Forgetting the fact that it's not show friendship, it's show business. It's not show art. It has to be able to make money at the end of the day.
Well, Savo's got a good gaming question. What year, in your opinion, did RPGs become mainstream or at least shed the stereotypes you remember? 2000.
Yeah, I would say 2000, probably maybe late 90s. That's when like it became mainstream because of all the PC games. That's when
Well-
like games like Baldur's Gate and stuff were huge, and that definitely made like D&D a bit more mainstream.
Mm-hmm. But I'm going to say 2000 specifically because that is the year that 3.0 came out.
Yes, it is.
And the OGL, and we saw the massive explosion of people writing game material for Dungeons and Dragons or offshoots of it using the OGL license. That to me was when RPGs became mainstream.
I think that goes in hand with like the whole video game stuff though, because like third edition and forward kind of lean into like those video gamey aspects anyway. So.
See, I think there's two questions there. There's when it went mainstream and when it shed the old stereotypes. I think that's two different things.
I was going to say something very different from mainstream.
Yeah, because
what were you going to say?
I was going to say sort of like it came to mainstream awareness like mid '80s. They were playing D&D in the ET film. You had TV.
I was going to say 83.
Yeah, you had Cloak and Dagger, which was basically about a role playing game. So about that time, and then when did the cartoon come out? 84.
Yeah,
maybe that's about right. I know 83 was the Redbox Basic.
Yeah,
that was proliferation. Beckme, exactly.
Yeah,
and then shedding stereotypes, I guess. When PvP started doing Penny Arcade, started doing their conventions and live plays and things. That was like the beginning of that arc where it became
did they ever really shed these stereotypes? Because they got no problem pulling them right back out to use again.
I think Disciples actually got a point. He says he started earlier with VTM. That is actually a good point because until then, D&D was kind of thought of as like a game for smelly nerds with glasses and bad skin, and then all of a sudden VTM came out, and all of a sudden it was cool.
No, but
that
made Vampire the Masquerade cool.
Oh,
that didn't make D&D cool. Vampire the Masquerade is what all the cool young, like gothy, like hip people were playing. D&D for a long time.
This guy.
D&D for a long time, like even when I was coming up, was still like the game for guys that looked like Cerulean Rex over there. Like that's what you picture, like a guy with a big gray beard. Those were the guys playing D&D. Vampire were like the big titty goth chicks. So
yeah.
And they all went to Renaissance festivals, both groups. So
yeah.
it all got.
But I also think there's a difference between stuff being portrayed
Naughty.
in movies and there being a cartoon and
Yeah.
having like kind of like this mainstream knowledge of it versus people actually taking it a step further and actually like playing the game. Because I grew up on the D&D cartoon and all that stuff. I never played D&D until like 2004. So yeah.
Wow. So how old are you, Victor?
I'm 39. I'm turning 40 this year. So
Okay. So yeah, you did. You were. It was just coming around that that cartoon was when you came into the world.
Yeah.
And so it was right there, probably in reruns by the time you were able to assimilate that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's just interesting to place you in the that moment of the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
It's weird how the stereotypes change as well, though. So like,
yeah,
early D&D, hopeless nerds, people studying mathematics at university, that sort of thing. Then, you're all Satanists, and so all the metal kits and stuff got into it, because it was a good time when you went there anyway. And then it kind of slipped away back into kind of nerdy stuff again. It's like Warhammer, right? You used to go into the Warhammer stores, like thrash metal would be playing, half the people in the store would be from a biker gang.
Yeah.
And then post 1990, it's basically daycare for people's parents who are shopping. Things change.
Yeah.
What are they like now? I mean,
the kids still mostly, except kids can barely afford to do it anymore. So kids have to be around parents. And I think if you were asked people what the stereotype of D&D players for 5e are, I think that's something different again.
Yeah. Blue-haired.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think like having actually grown up during that era and like remembering my own experience, I think the video games played a huge part. Because before, like stuff like Baldur's Gate, like it was like older dudes from like the 70s and 80s that were like playing that shit. And then like Baldur's Gate coming out, Planescape Torment, Neverwinter Nights, like all that stuff, that brought in like a much younger crowd who then started playing like Third Edition and stuff. And it kind of like fed into each other.
Well, that stuff was still Second Edition though.
Yeah, but it got us familiar with like the concept of D&D, and it wasn't like that was like the end of Second Edition. It was like maybe a few years from Second Edition to Third Edition. So by the time like everyone was ready to actually like jump into D&D proper, Third Edition was a thing, and even 3.5. So
yeah,
I think second to third was 12 years.
Yeah,
11 at least.
Yeah. And like Baldur's Gate is like what, like 96, 97, like so that was like towards the towards the end there.
Yeah, I was working in the game store. I mean, we did kind of everything. We did video games, but we also did role playing games and a little bit of comic book stuff. And I started working there in about 90. Well, they opened in 91. I didn't officially get a job there till 92. And I remember, that whole time period between like 92 all the way up to 2000. And all the Second Edition stuff that we sold up until then. But we also sold a ton of Vampire and all these other games that I got into. And I still have them all. So it's just...
Just a passerby mentions something. Of course, the reason that the D&D trademark is owned by WotC, but mentioned people playing Magic and then later Pokemon, and that being their that was a gateway drug.
Although
a lot of people.
Although I remember Magic actually kind of hurt the D&D stuff and all the role playing.
No denying that.
Yeah.
At first, when it was in full popularity swing, Magic, it was eating D&D's lunch. I mean, I was scared that people were just going to stop playing D&D altogether.
Yeah,
it did. It did save a lot of the game stores, though. So that was the other side of that equation.
There's two sides of the coin, And I think when a lot of the popularity in cards shifted over toward Pokemon too, a lot of that shifted the age focus down. And I think, then at that point, as just a passerby said, it was, kind of like a stepping stone into, because things just shifted back toward role playing.
I don't know. I don't know what happened in the States, but over here, the game shops didn't sell a lot of Pokemon. A lot of the Pokemon card trade went to video game stores.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they wangled some kind of deal or something, but that hurt game stores.
Well, okay. Well, I just want to clear. I mean, I was working in a game store at the time, so I got to see this phenomenon firsthand. Magic did not hurt the game stores because we were selling Magic like crazy. In fact, we were driving to Austin, which is like a 5-6 hour drive for me, just to go get the latest releases and just bring back boxes and boxes of just so we could have it in the store before everybody else did to sell it. But what the part of Magic that hurt was the fact that everybody was spending all their money on Magic cards and playing Magic all the time, and it was hard to get players to play D&D and role-playing games of any kind, even Vampire and stuff, because the obsession for the card games was so, I mean, it was easy to get into Magic, and it was addictive, and it was fun. And so when you tried to talk to somebody like, hey, you want to come play Call of Cthulhu? No, man, I'm going to play Magic with these guys. So
yeah.
That's what killed role playing for us a little bit.
There was a time there that the cards really slowed down development of the RPG landscape. TSR was dying quickly, Grim's right. That was life's blood to the store operators for sure. And then seemingly, I got out of cardboard crack.
Same.
I'm going to say 96, 97.
That's the same for me. I think I got out during the Dark and Legends.
Yeah. Dark was the last set for me because that one kind of burned me. I was like, not gonna spend that much money on this anymore. But yeah, there was a popularity shift, and it could be simply because WotC bought D&D. I mean, that put a lot of eyes on D&D in 2000 that weren't on it before.
And I remember the cardboard crack thing because I'm serious because it seemed like a new card game was coming out every week. It's like they had the Monty Python card game, they had the Star Trek card game, they had the Feng Shui card game, they had the Legend of the Five Rings card game, they had Pokemon, they had Animayhem, which was actually one of my favorites, and I actually got to play it more than once.
I've not heard of most of these.
They had Jihad, which later became Vampire. And then later on Werewolf, I think.
Over the Edge had a card game. Werewolf had a card game. Changeling had a card game. Of course, the Call of Cthulhu card game nearly did for Chaosium because they thought it was a license to print money, and it wasn't, as it turned out.
So they went in too deep and didn't get the response they were looking for.
Yeah, they launched it, made a shitload of money, went, woohoo, we're all rich, spent loads of money, and then the arse fell out of the card game market. So,
yeah.
And I remember the Hero Clicks too. Actually, before Hero Clicks, there was what was it, WizKids Mage Knight. That was a different kind of collectible, but it was like using miniature figures and stuff, and it was a game, and that was fun too. And I spent a lot of money on that.
Legend of the Five Rings.
Yeah,
that was the time period T-shirted. That's cool too.
That
was the time period T-shirted that I owned a game store with a partner.
Oh wow, okay.
That lasted a couple of years. And the thing that really caught on in our shop was not Mage Knight. It was Mech Warrior.
Yeah, that was. I actually got mad when Mech Warrior came out because I liked Mech Warrior, but it stole all the Mage Knight players, and then of course WizKids screwed their own player base by saying, "Well, you can't use all the old stuff with the new stuff."
Yeah,
So
they do that.
Yeah, so that killed it. HeroClix stuck around for a long
rascals.
time.
Yeah, it did. There's still a market for used, for previously owned stuff on that title, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Not Mage Knight as much as I know, but I don't go into shops looking that much these days.
I only know just because I worked in a game store and I was just as much hooked up into all that stuff as anybody.
Sure.
The one thing I missed about that it was a really good way to pick up cheap miniatures bulk when people were getting rid of their doubles.
True.
So they didn't want Kobold number 37, but if you're running an encounter and you can pick them up for a few pence, then why not?
Yeah, that is a whole pipeline that I did not get in on, and I regret it.
It's like the common, I think it was the yellow. The miniatures for Mage Knight came in 3 variations. It was like yellows, blues, and reds, I think. Reds being like the rarest, and the yellows being the crap ones. And I think like the worst miniature in the entire set was like the yellow wood golem. Like nobody ever ran one of those because they were crap. So we actually took one out and we spray painted it gold, and we kept it at the tables. And every time somebody would make like a really spectacular, really horrible move, we'd be like, "You get the Golden Wood Golem award today."
Nice.
I often wonder why Dragon Dice didn't catch on, because you know how much people love their clicky clacky math rocks.
I
Is it
can
just because
tell
they
you
couldn't
why.
be used as normal dice, or the
Yeah.
game was shit?
Well, because people couldn't use them as normal dice. He had these dice with these funky pictures and shit all over them. And
is that what it was?
Yeah, and
I never picked them up.
When they came, we got a sample at the store, and when they came out, nobody bought them.
Really?
Nope.
Those games also kind of suck because if you lose the dice, you're like screwed. And I lose dice all the time. So
that one, I think that one had a lot of Jim Ward influence.
Sad.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think he said something about that recently.
That was a cool game. He got killed by Jim Ward. I still remember that. Oh man, you have a huge tin of dragon dice. What do you use them for, Disciple? Do you actually play with them? Iron Crown did a dice adventure game. Wow, I never even heard of it. So
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I just don't know why dice games just never worked out. And I guess it was because you couldn't use them for anything but that specific game. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely detracts from the replay value.
Yeah, Dragon Dice was picked up by a company called SFR and was still being published up until 2011.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that either. What was the name of the company again? The initials?
SFR.
SFR. I'll look that up later.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are actually over time, but I was kind of curious, Rex. You've got 3 videos on the site. I'm presuming you're going to make a lot more. So,
yeah, there will be more. Right now, I'm not trying to break my neck and make sure I get one out on a particular schedule. I'm kind of shooting for one a week right now. I think that's a decent way to kind of start. And I guess after doing it for a little while, I'll decide whether it's it's going to go boom or if it's going to be a hobby. I just have to see. I have to see how it all fits in because I got a lot of irons in the fire. And right now, I'd like to get out at least one more video over the next week or two. Prefer to It's going to be a little difficult though, because just getting ready for the 2 conventions that I have coming up and getting that game ready. That's primary focus number 1 right now.
Yeah.
Well, so I would say
it's the prognosis.
Treat it like a hobby. Don't treat it like a business. Because it's very rare that you're gonna release something that's gonna go mega and get tons and tons of subscribers. You'd have to have some kind of really original, super duper hot on fire take that everybody jumps onto to get like lots of subs really quickly.
And typically those are the kinds of takes that give you headaches and trouble sleeping at night. So
and all kinds of nasty death threats and things.
That too. What's that like?
I don't know. I haven't done any myself. That's why I've been at this for 4 years and still haven't made 1,000 subs. Whereas Victor just, plugs away at it and he gets 1,000 subs.
I'm at almost 2,000 now. So yeah.
Nice.
Did you finally get monetized again, or when can you apply again?
No. I'm still, because the year rolled over, so I'm short on like the watch hours. I had like plenty. I had like over like 8,000 like watch hours, and then the year rolled over and it like dropped to 0, and I haven't had any like much since. And
What?
I think you need like 4,000 or some shit to like get monetized. So yeah.
Dang.
So, but yeah, whatever. I'm not in a rush. I haven't uploaded anything in a while anyway. So.
Bye, Salvo.
Yeah. It's good seeing you again, Salvo. We'll be watching you on Twitter.
Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on again. T-shirted.
Yeah, I was happy
Jim,
to
seeing you.
Yeah, when I heard you had a YouTube channel, I was kind of like, oh man, we need to promote this guy. We need to get him some views. We need to get him some subscribers, and we need to get him kind of like comfortable and on his way, because it's tough when you break it in. So.
Yep, and I'll get over there and see if I can give you at least 1 view for the year there, Victor.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, everybody.
All right.
But before we go real quick, 6 days. In 6 days, I'm doing my Kickstarter campaign. If you want to like share the link real quick, T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm like 3 short from 300 pre-launch followers. It's kind of like a, personal goal I've set now. So if people want to like at least get me there, that'd be nice. But 6 days, I think. March 1st, that's 6, right? Keep an eye on that if you want urban fantasy and like modern rules for old school essentials, plus any other like compatible like OSR system. I'm your man. So
it is the guns book, JP.
I don't think I mentioned it either, by the way. I think T-shirt, you got my my links to social medias and
I do
the YouTube channel in the description for the show today, right?
Let me. I'll post those up in the links for the show today, and
appreciate
get you a little bit of. And I'll post them here in the chat box.
I just suddenly remembered. I'm like, I don't think I ever told anybody how to find me.
Oh well, that's probably a little harder to decipher, but if you're watching this on the replay, you can catch it.
Yeah,
and I'll post it up. I'll put it in, edit it into the description. So.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I'm actually taking the GM seat again for a 1, possibly 2. I don't know. It depends on how the reception goes, how much fun people are having with it, as to whether or not it becomes a campaign. But I'm going to be running Cities Without Number, the Kevin Crawford game. Everybody drink?
My last sip.
There you go.
Time to quickly.
Is that officially a game?
Yes, it is. Yes, Cities Without Number is a game. It's made by Kevin Crawford.
I mean,
the Kevin Crawford drinking game? Yes.
That's officially a game. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. For my channel, yes. Every time I mention Kevin Crawford or a Kevin Crawford game, everybody takes a drink because I do it so frequently.
I mean,
almost every stuff. He does make good stuff.
I hear that.
But I am going to be using the Cyberpunk 2077 setting, but I'm going to be using the Cities Without Number rules. So it'll be kind of interesting. The game is kind of like tailor built to use other settings, since it is the way it is. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I think I still have some spots open, but I do have a limited number of pre-gens available for it. So if you want to get in on it, hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open, and if I've got a spot, I will open it up for you. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I will have Grim and company to play with.
Nice.
All right. But hey, thank you, Cerulean, for being on. I appreciate you.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
And thank you, other gentlemen.
You're welcome.
As always.
Great to see you both.
And and Grim, yes, I did record a 50th celebration in honor of your video.
Yeah.
And Animane's working on it for me. I've already recorded the dialogue, so I'm just waiting for him to put it out.
It didn't take off to quite the extent I would like it to, but just as an appeal to the audience, Wizards has really, really dropped the ball on celebrating the origin of D&D and the creators who made it. So I made a little video celebrating it, saying what role-playing games mean to me, and I would appreciate it if you made a little video, a TikTok, posted on social media, wrote a blog about what gaming means to you and how much you appreciate it.
Yeah, please go ahead and find my second video, Grim. It fits the bill for that. It's got some stuff about the game that I'm running, but the largest piece of that is me talking about the importance of role-playing games and their place in our culture.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
It's a good one. All right, guys. Y'all take care. We will see you tomorrow. And if we don't see you tomorrow, we'll see you Tuesday.
Yep.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams. Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.